This piece is called No Routes Found. If after plus 400 years they still didn't build a country where we belong, what makes you think they have us in mind when they're engineering a digital universe in just 15 to 20 years? AI is about scale and efficiency. Wake the fuck up. They're scaling the same system the plus 400 years, just bigger, faster, leaner, more profit, less overhead. That's the business model. More windows, more doors, not more land, not more homes. They want us to be able to look in, not live in. We're more useful as window shoppers than business owners because they know if we look long enough, eventually we will buy. Why do you think the fees are constant? Why do you think they call it doom scrolling? It's a constant sales pitch to let you know open for business. And that open sign is specifically designed to provide the veneer of access. As I said before, access without safety is just exploitation. It is not liberation. And they keep telling us over and over and over again, we are not safe on these lands. Keep equating access to equality and freedom while ignoring safety. The next prompt you write is going to be how to escape slavery. Maybe Google Maps, give me directions off this plantation. And guess what you're going to see? No routes found. I'm going to add in some commentary about this piece because I think it's very important to get the context of the background of what I wrote and where it came from. So first thing is this piece is a disclaimer here. This piece is attributable to a compilation of ideas that I've got from some very intelligent brothers and sisters and conversations I've had over the past few weeks. And some things I've seen on socials and podcasts and all other things, right? So some of my ideas, but a lot of other people's ideas, a lot of it, they're the brains, especially some things I found really interesting. I'm just a mouthpiece to express it. So the background for this particular idea came from a conversation I had with this intelligent sister this month. As we talked, I brought up some points of contention I had with some of my friends, specifically my male friends. I was telling her how some of the brothers, and this is just an amalgam of viewpoints, many different people, these people that are pretty aware, keep telling me things like racism is not that bad. The problem is too many women are trying to lead. Men should be leading. Men need to be in the place and lead. Right? And so with all love and affection for these brothers, some of these brothers who also happen to be international blacks, these brothers often tell me about how they're training their algorithm. And this is getting to the point of why I'm including this commentary, right? When I told her this, she had heard the same thing, and she expressed 2 points of view. First, her firm belief in the Pan-Africanism and the diaspora, which is something I completely believe in as well, right? We are all one, right? The safety, the vitality, the success, the liberation of us is tied to us all being seen as one people, right? Our blackness is unifying, right? And so that idea is something that I believe in, she believes in as we have this conversation. The second point of the conversation, which is also why it's being included, is that she said, I think that algorithm shit is a CIA op. And I was like, whoa, right? I know that we have thought about the ideas of data manipulation, technology manipulation to hurt us into different ways, right? And that's not a new idea. But the way that I thought about this comment, I think was very charged and very eye-opening to me, right? So when she expressed that to me, I said, right there, they got us, right? I already know the roads we're going to go down, right? And again, before I go down those roads, I just want to make clear, because I take my personal beliefs very much to heart, right? And I want to make clear, sure that we understand, because it's going to come up in this conversation, right? I don't believe in the gender role leadership idea that women should be in a certain place and men should be in a place. And I've expressed this with my friends, and they know where I stand. That also brings in this other idea of how do we remain in community with people who have fundamental differences than us, right? Which is something that we need to converse about, right? And also with this gender role idea, right? Are these gender roles causing black women harm, right? And it's a nuanced conversation because some of these ideas, right, these patriarchal ideas they're ideological, but in practice, maybe they're not as harmful as you might think, right? So there's very nuances. There's lots of levels that we should have conversation about with this, and this is something I think we should discuss at some point. It's just not the main part of this topic right now. So like I said, boom, they got us. Right now, I'm not assigning any of these responses to anyone, but these are general roads that we're probably going to see people go down. First, the obvious one. The men are going to double down because of how it makes them feel or react to this woman expressing her ideas and assuming maybe this leadership role, right? They're going to think she's out of pocket, she's not in the place that she needs to be. Again, the men should lead, right? That's the whole thing, right? So that's going to bring in some division already right there, right? Now, the second part is women are going to also respond to this patriarchy and feel a sense more of distrust because now we have men saying, I should be in this position, and women don't want to listen. These are the words that some of them say, not me. And then so it's just providing more distrust between black men and black women. Second, related to the Black internationals and Black American conversation, which is not a new conversation. We've been having this conversation for decades, right? So if we don't have this conversation with honesty and compassion for all of us, with the understanding that the goal is to build community, then we're going to add to fractures, and we don't need more fractures, right? And because this is a reactionary society, we know that's going to happen. Somebody, somewhere, is going to hear this, and they're going to say, oh, she's talking this nonsense, and she doesn't know because she's an American-born woman. Or somebody's going to hear this and say, those black Americans don't know how to lead. Or somebody's going to hear this and say, that's the problem. The international blacks don't understand this, right? So this is the issue that we are going to run into because, like I said, they got us, right? It's providing division right there again, right? Which kind of proves her point, right? This could be an op, right? This idea that we're getting certain responses from certain types of black people and certain responses from other types of black people, it's possible, right? It could be an op, right? The third one is that they instantly dismiss this as conspiracy theory. And I think that is the real point, right? It's just at this edge of being, it could be happening, it's plausible, but it's probably not likely, right? And so that idea is working. How is it with all the shit that this country has done, we would immediately dismiss the idea that these companies intentionally create biased algorithms to divide and oppress black people? Now, the ones that are saying racism isn't that bad won't believe it to be true because, hey, they can do it unintentionally, and it's just going to, reinforce the same thought. Racism's not that bad. I see the results in my feed. Black people are prospering. Crime is out of control. But the only reason crime is out of control is because kids are being raised by women, right? It's confirming this idea of the world or America is doing pretty well, right? So that's one side, right? And now the other thing is they could intentionally do this thing to put the algorithm in here to intentionally divide us because the people who believe that it's biased, right, it's going to be confirmed in their own timeline. They're going to be exposed to other people who have thoughts that say, the police are out of control and we need more resources and all those other things, right? So there's more division again, right? And because people are going to just dismiss this idea to say nobody's really doing this intentionally, there's not going to be any accountability, right? So they've already succeeded, right? They've already succeeded because those are all examples of how they can divide us, right? That's the goal the whole time, right? To divide the people. So shit, you could put the intentionality of the algorithm in to be divisive, or you can leave it out. Who cares, right? They've already accomplished their goal. So now let's bring this idea home. In this capitalistic society, with the historic profit margins that these companies and these people are making, why would they ever stop driving that business model that they found so much success for? And now they have plus 400 years of the proof of concept. So why the fuck would they leave it out? Put that shit in and let's scale.